Hey, stewards. I'm here with a midweek rant. If you know me at all, you know that I have a need to close the loop. We all have a need to close the loop. That's why story branding works, right? That's why we learn through story. That's why story is so effective in marketing. But I need to chase down answers. I don't know if any of the rest of you are like that. I seriously have a need to chase down answers. And so I was in a conversation last evening, a brief messaging conversation with a fellow triber, and we were talking about StreamYard, and I had brought StreamYard up, and the question was, well, does it broadcast in 1080p? And I was sure that it did. I thought, well, I think so, but you know what? I need to check. And I thought, let me just go verify this. It'll be really easy to verify that it broadcasts in 1080p, right? It was not. It was not. And I could not stop until I had the answer. You would think you could just Google that and verify it under StreamYard's features or their packages, right? And can I just say one more time how much I love the free version? It's fantastic. It's what we're using today. I can do the banner. I can throw your comments up on screen. It's amazing if you haven't already seen it. And did I say again, it's free? Bootstrappers, use it. You can screen share. You can have up to 5 different guests on screen with you. And this is without compromising any of the broadcast quality either. So it's fantastic. But the short answer to the question is it does not broadcast in 1080p. It actually broadcasts in 720. But I could not find that information anywhere. I literally had to go to the lengths of joining the StreamYard community and asking in the StreamYard community and getting an answer from one of the founders that no, at this time it broadcasts in 720, which apparently is kind of a live streaming standard right now. Apparently there are not a lot of live stream tools that broadcast in 1080. So just so you know, how many of you get lost down a rabbit hole like that? It wasn't a super big deal for me last night because Tuesdays are office hours days in my membership. So from 4 to 7, I'm kind of supposed to be on all the time anyway, ready to take questions and ready to provide answers. And there was no one else needing me at that time. So it wasn't a big deal that I was chasing that down. I wasn't taking away time from my family or another task, but there have been times when that's absolutely been what has happened with me. I will need to answer a question or find a solution that I know it has to be there. And I have to chase it down. I have to follow the thread until I get to the end of it. And there are times that those type of distractions have derailed my productivity for maybe an hour, maybe 2, maybe a day. And it's something that I've really been trying to master a little bit better, but something about my not even just innate curiosity, but the need for those answers. Whew, it's a driver. And lately in Titus 2, some of you know that I'm involved with the Titus 2 ministries. Lately in Titus 2, within their private group, I've been doing a teaching series. The first of it was available publicly, and some of you may have seen it. And it's on how trying to be like God is ruining our relationships. And the thrust of the series is that God has these incommunicable attributes, right? These things about him that are unique to him. These are things that we were never meant to reflect as his image bearers. There's so much that we were meant to reflect. Things like faithfulness and goodness and mercy and love and justice and holiness. Things that we are to strive after as we walk this road of sanctification as Christians. But there are so many things that we were never meant to reflect, yet we have a strong desire to have those attributes of God. And omniscience is one of them, right? And so wanting knowledge, wanting to be able to apply knowledge, wanting to be able to teach others, it's not a bad thing. But how much of my need to chase down these threads, how much of that is really reflecting a desire that I have for omniscience, which I'm not supposed to have. And we live in this age of the internet where solutions and answers are at our fingertips, and they might not always be credible, and that's where we have to be careful in terms of wisdom and discernment. And so I just found it to be a very interesting point of reflection as to what makes me go down that rabbit hole. Like what's driving me and chasing this? And is it always a good thing? And, like sometimes it is, but any good thing, when we take it to an extreme, it can become an idolatrous thing. And anytime that we're trying to be like God in a way we shouldn't, that can be an idolatrous thing. And so it's just kind of like a good heart check for me. And I don't know if you guys have those. If you see right now on StreamYard, we've had a comment and I've thrown it up here, but it just says Facebook user. Normally that's going to actually put your name and your picture up there. But because we're in a private group, it works a little differently. And there should be some instructions kind of in the bottom of the broadcast that tell you exactly how you need to be able to turn that on for people to see you. If we were on the page, the Bootstrapping Christian Entrepreneur page, that would all show up. Some of you have probably already seen broadcasts from that page where it did show up. So if you're wondering why it shows that comment showing up like that, that's the reason why. But anyway, I just wanted to jump in and kind of talk about that rabbit hole and talk about how I thought it was really a good opportunity for a heart check and see if any of you have had a similar experience, whether that is going down a rabbit hole to chase down that thread because you have a need to know or a need to find the answer, a need to close the story loop, or whether it's one that we all struggle with a little bit more, like, right? We want control. We want control of our outcomes. And, that's where we want kind of like that omnipotence or that sovereignty that we don't have and that we weren't meant to have because we're not God. And I think that this comes up in every relationship that we have, whether that is, family or spouses, children, parents, within our businesses, our relationships with God, we see it, it kind of taints everything. So I just, an awesome point to be aware of. I'm finding reason to talk about it everywhere. I'm seeing it everywhere since I really kind of became aware of those issues. Which Jen Wilkin has some awesome books if you're interested. One is called In His Image and one is called None Like Him. In His Image, it focuses on the attributes of God that we were meant to reflect, and None Like Him focuses on his incommunicable attributes, the ones that we were never meant to reflect that are unique to him. And she quotes Tozer often. Those of you who know me well know I love Tozer. And so, of course, I had read Knowledge of the Holy, which is a very short little Tozer book, great book that talks about the attributes of God. But it was Jen's book that really opened my eyes to what happens in our lives when we crave those attributes, and we want to have that, and the behaviors that we have that show us that that's what we're chasing. And then I kind of started digging even deeper into relationships and how that's really just reflected in every aspect of our lives. And I've often talked about how God has many times given me like one big thing at a time in my life that I need to work on, right? One area, because he probably knew I couldn't handle a lot at one time. But as I went through None Like Him, he gave me like 5 big areas, 5 huge areas that he gut checked me in regard to my desire to be like him. And guys, like, we can follow this all the way back to the garden. It was Eve's desire to be like God, to have the knowledge he had, the knowledge of good and evil. That's what drove her sin. She wanted that knowledge that God had. She wanted to put herself in God's place. And so much of what we do that's idolatrous stems from that. Deep reflection points today. I know, like, I actually didn't intend to get that deep. I just wanted to talk a little bit about that rabbit hole and the heart check. But anyway, hopefully the midweek rant has been productive or at least entertaining for you in some way. How are you guys doing this week? What do you need help with? Let us know. Post in the comments. Goodness, don't post in the comments. Put a post in the group if you need help with something. We always love to step in and support you any way that we can. We have a lot of really knowledgeable people here, and a lot of us have walked some of the path before you, maybe made some of the mistakes that can help you avoid some painful steps in your process. So anyway, thanks for being here, guys. Have a fantastic rest of the week.